Hey everybody, Killer Cruise here, bringing you another Theater Thoughts, this time on Mary Poppins Returns. This movie was very fun. I saw it with some friends. The actors were fine. Emily Blunt was a very good Mary Poppins. I thought that she was a great choice. She did a really good job. Julie Andrews doesn't appear in the movie. I hear it's because she didn't want to upstage her, and that makes sense. But there was a spot in this movie that would have been perfect for her, and I think that it was intended for her, and if she was there, it would have been really great. But everybody else in the movie was great. Dick Van Dyke, I didn't realize who he was, and my friend pointed out, and I'm like, that makes a lot of sense. I'm so glad that Dick Van Dyke was in the movie. Dick Van Dyke was one of my favorite parts of the original, so it was really great to see him in this. It wasn't as good as the original, but that's honestly hard to do. I mean, if you've seen the original, you know how magical and great it is. I mean, it doesn't hold up for effects and stuff today, but I mean, the whole idea behind it and whatever, it's really great, and I love it. It doesn't update Mary Poppins for a new generation in the sense that she's now in modern day. It's that it's 20 years later, and it does update it enough that the effects and whatnot are new, and it does update her for a new generation in the fact that there are new lessons, and this provides more for her character to work with, and it was really well done. This movie is extremely similar yet different, almost like a color by the numbers, but coloring just a shade or two off of what the number tells you. The animated section was great. I'm a sucker for good animation. I mean, I'm an animation student, so the music was fine, but it was not very memorable. It was fun enough that it didn't lose my attention, but it doesn't have anything that's stuck in my head the same way that Chim Chimery is or Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. There are references abound in this movie. It does take place 20 years later, so there's tons of things that are referenced, like this happened or that happened. And my friend pointed out to me that there was Poppins written in the bricks upstairs, so look out for that. Other things are referenced, just explaining where certain characters are. The boathouse with the running joke of the cannon is still in this movie, and that was really fun, so I was really glad to see that back. There are just plenty of references to the original in this, and of course, it's not just references, it's got its own stuff, and it's really fun. I really like this. This time around, because it is very similar yet different, rather than teaching a serious man to be connected with his kids and that the kids need to be better behaved, it is about teaching kids to be kids. This movie has a certain Disney thing that is abound in the beginning, and it continues out throughout, and this explains why Michael is sort of in the situation he is with his house going to be repossessed, and the kids, why they're so serious and whatnot. So it's just about teaching kids that they need to be kids, and for Michael to kind of reconnect with them and to balance work and his home life, and to learn to, even if someone's gone, they're still with us. There was no reason for this movie to be made, but it was fine. No reason to race out to go see it. It's not really going to change the Mary Poppins that you know. I'd wait for it to come on a streaming service, honestly. I went out and saw it with my friends because I watched Mary Poppins earlier today, and I was so excited to see the new one, so I went out and saw it, and I'm like, this didn't change anything for me. It's just an extension, and I'll watch it again, just not as many times as the original. So that's what I think about it. Go ahead and stick around for the spoilers now in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This is spoiler area, baby. First big thing is Mary Poppins does not need a villain. It super doesn't need a villain. There's a guy in this movie, well, you're in the spoiler area, so I'm spoiling it. There is a villain in this movie. He's like the head of the bank, and he does not need to be here in the terms that Mary Poppins doesn't need a villain. Mary Poppins is all about lessons and not villainy, and he doesn't need to be here. And my friend told me, yes, there are dickheads and stuff in the real world, and yes, I get that. And I guess it'd have been okay if he was in here if it wasn't for the fact that his villainy is so, like, corrupt or whatever, that they need to, like, intervene and be like, oh, we need to set back the clock, and Mary Poppins actually has to get involved, which in the end doesn't even matter all that much. And I think that if they had just left that completely out, that made the movie stronger. Of just not them, like the villain, if you stay in the movie, whatever. But it's them resetting the clock and having to race against time and whatever. That's a little off-putting. Because the movie would have played out the same way anyways, of the tuppence from the first movie collects interest and now is enough to pay back the loan, and then he gets to keep the shares and they find the shares, and all that would have been the same way even if Mary Poppins didn't interject. So it just doesn't need a villain. This movie was also, each scene just seemed to capture, it tried to capture something from the first one. Like it was trying, like I said with the Painting by the Numbers, it was trying to be the first movie but not be the first movie at the same time. What I mean by that is like the bathtub scene, that's like the cleaning the room. It's more, they do enter this new world that's all CG and water down, but this is like, you know, clean yourself, take care of yourself, instead of clean your room, take care of your room. Then there's the China Bowl, which to me was the best scene in the movie. Like I said, I'm a sucker for animation. I'm an animation student, so watching it and seeing that it was all 2D, or not all of it was 2D, but it was 2D, and there was a lot of stuff. It seemed really great. I loved it. It was beautifully done. But that was just trying to recapture the sidewalk drawing with Dick Van Dyke. Oh yeah, I forgot to talk about, there's this new character, Jack, who is sort of the new Bert, and he's not at the same time, as in he's not interested in Mary Poppins the same way Bert seemed to be, question mark. But he is definitely the new Bert character, as he is sort of this, he's this guy who lights lanterns and whatnot, and he works and knows about Mary Poppins and all that stuff. He's fun. He's fine. I like this character. He and Jane are supposed to be a thing, I suppose, and I mean, that's fine. Whatever. Then there was Mary's cousin, Topsy, who her whole shop like turns upside down every second Wednesday of the month. And I don't understand. They don't really explain why. It just sort of happens, and magical, that's fine, but she's supposed to be sort of the Uncle Bert of the movie, where they go and visit her and have this whole song and dance routine, and it's fine, it's fun, but the whole point is that it's a pun of topsy-turvy, and it's about getting a new perspective on life, and it's fine, it's fun. That's where Meryl Streep was. I believe she was Topsy, but that scene was just trying to be Uncle Albert, but I like Uncle Albert, but I also like Topsy. It's fine. It was, again, most of this movie is just fine. It's not spectacular. It's not the original Mary Poppins, but it's not bad either. So then there are the lantern guys that are trying to get them home because they got lost in the fog. But of course, it's Mary Poppins. She doesn't get lost in the fog. She's practically perfect in every way. It's just another song. So it's supposed to be the Chimney Sweep song, which again, the Chimney Sweep song is more iconic with the chim chimmery chim chimmery chim chim. Should copyright. I'm gonna get this video down taken. I don't know what I'm still doing singing. So let's go to the next part, what I want to talk about. But it's that the song and dance routine is just as good in this as it is in original, but there's like BMX stuff. It's like, okay, that's interesting. But that just means that like a lot of this was done in person and not CG, and I think that's great, and I love that, and it was really great to watch, and I look forward to seeing that again. It's not as long as the Chimney Sweep section, which when I watched the original today, I thought that scene kind of went on and on, but you know, I don't know, that was me, but I like this new one a bit more than me, and I don't know about a bit more, but I definitely enjoyed it. There was also the scene where the kids go to the bank and they cause a ruckus, and it's not a huge ruckus, but it gets the dad sort of in trouble and he might lose his job, sort of like the first one, but it's enough to cause conflict between the kids and the dad, and the bank and the dad, and it's paint by the numbers of, look at what happened in the original, let's kind of do something similar, and it didn't need to be there, but this whole movie is like it was trying to pay homage to the original one, and it wasn't a bad one. This movie is not bad. It's just kind of different, but not very different. Everything, like I said, it's all trying to be the same thing, but super not, and all the lessons are great, and builds upon what Mary Poppins teaches, and overall, it's a very fun time, and not a bad expansion to Mary Poppins at all. I overall really found this movie to be okay, and I would just wait to watch it again until it's on Netflix. I don't even know if I'd buy this movie, but hey, That's me. Maybe you guys really enjoyed this movie. Maybe you guys really didn't enjoy this movie. Go ahead and let me know what you thought. I hope that you guys like this video. Like, comment, and subscribe. Check out some of my other videos. Hopefully I'll have some more coming out for you soon. But thank you for watching. Take it easy, everybody.